Alright folks, gather round, welcome to Northwood High. From the outside it seems pretty standard, doesn't it? Your typical American high school, full of life. Bright hallways, buzzing with students, lockers slamming shut, the smell of floor wax and youthful energy. But looks can be deceiving, can't they? Sometimes the most ordinary places hide the most extraordinary secrets. And Northwood is guarding one, a real head-scratcher. The heart of this mystery, the epicenter of all the strange vibes, is a single classroom. Room 304. It's located on the third floor, tucked away at the end of a long corridor. Just an ordinary classroom, you might say. Rows of desks, a whiteboard at the front, posters on the wall. But room 304 is anything but ordinary. For years, whispers have circulated about room 304. Students share stories in hushed tones. They dare each other to go near it after dark. Some even say the room feels different. Colder, perhaps, or maybe too quiet. The legend isn't about a haunting. It's about a series of baffling incidents. Things that just don't add up. The stories vary. Some say items go missing only to reappear in strange places. Others talk about peculiar sounds, not screams or moans. More like soft shuffling or faint tapping, as if someone is trying to get your attention. But no one is ever there. The room is often empty when these things happen. It's the not knowing that gets to you. These aren't just campfire tales meant to scare the new first-year students. The accounts are too consistent, too widespread, from different students, across different years. Even some teachers have admitted off the record that something is a bit crook with room 304. They can't quite put their finger on it, but the feeling is there. A persistent, nagging sense that this particular room is different. So, when did all this kerfuffle about room 304 actually start? It's hard to pinpoint an exact date. The school archives don't exactly have a file labeled Weird Stuff in 304. But older staff members reckon the oddities began surfacing about a decade ago. It wasn't a sudden thing, more like a slow burn, a gradual accumulation of strange little events. At first, people brushed them off. Just coincidences, they'd say, or students playing pranks. One of the earliest documented incidents involved a teacher, Miss Albright. She was preparing for an afternoon class in room 304. She distinctly remembered placing a stack of exam papers on her desk. She turned her back for a moment, just to write something on the whiteboard. When she turned back, the papers were gone, vanished into thin air. She searched the entire room, thinking she'd misplaced them. No luck. Later that day, the papers were found. Not in room 304, but neatly stacked in the staff room, on a coffee table, miles away from where she'd left them. How did they get there? Nobody knew. Nobody saw a thing. Then, more stories started trickling in. Students reported their belongings moving, pens rolling off desks when no one was near, textbooks found open to a random page, a page they hadn't been reading, doors creaking open or shut when there was no breeze. Students in room 304 have experienced strange occurrences. Sarah felt a sudden cold spot, like a freezer door opened, but all windows were shut. Tom heard tapping sounds. A pencil vibrated on a desk. Both were puzzled, not scared. Something in room 304 is off. Baffled and concerned. It wasn't just the students who found room 304 puzzling. The staff had their own odd experiences, often reluctant to talk about them, didn't want to sound foolish or cause panic. But in quiet conversations, stories emerged. Mr. Davies felt watched in room 304, marking papers late one evening, a prickling sensation on his neck, the kind you get when someone is staring. But no one was ever there, just empty chairs and a silent whiteboard, the hum of the fluorescent lights. He tried to shake it off, told himself it was just fatigue, the stress of the job. but it happened more than once. Always in room 304. Always when he was alone. He started avoiding working late in that room. Can't blame him, really. Even the school janitor, old Mr. Peterson, a bloke who'd seen it all, had tales to tell. He'd often be the last one in the building, cleaning up, locking doors. He said room 304 was always the coldest room on the 3rd floor, even on a hot summer day. And sometimes he'd find things out of place, chairs slightly moved, books on the floor that were neatly stacked when he last checked. He didn't think it was kids mucking about. The school was locked up tight. He once told the principal, "That room, sir, it's got a strange feel. Not a bad feel exactly, just active." The principal, a practical woman, listened patiently. She respected Mr. Peterson. He wasn't one to make things up. She even authorized a few checks. Maintenance crews looked for drafts, faulty wiring, anything that could explain the cold spots or odd noises. They found nothing. Absolutely nothing out of the ordinary from a technical standpoint. The mystery deepened. Now, Northwood High isn't run by folks who believe in hocus pocus. When these stories about room 304 became persistent, the administration decided to investigate. Properly. They wanted rational explanations. Logical answers. They weren't about to let rumors run wild, so they brought in experts. Engineers checked the building's structure. Could it be vibrations from nearby traffic, or settling of the old building? The answer was a clear no. Room 304 was structurally sound, just like all the other rooms. Then they considered environmental factors, air currents perhaps, faulty heating or ventilation systems causing the cold spots and moving light objects. Technicians spent days checking every vent, every thermostat, every nook and cranny of the HVAC system connected to room 304. They ran diagnostics. They monitored temperatures. Their findings. Everything was working perfectly. Shipshape, no unusual airflows, no temperature fluctuations that couldn't be explained by normal operations. Another dead end. This was getting frustrating for everyone involved. Psychologists were even consulted unofficially. Could it be mass hysteria, suggestibility among students? It's a known phenomenon after all. One person reports something strange, and suddenly everyone starts noticing things. But the consistency of the reports, even from level-headed staff members who were initially skeptical, made that explanation seem a bit thin. And the physical manifestations, like Miss Albright's disappearing and reappearing papers, were harder to dismiss as mere imagination. It wasn't just feelings, it was things. The school even tried rotating classes out of room 304 for a semester, to see if the legend would die down, to give the room a rest, so to speak. When classes resumed, the strange occurrences started up again. Slowly at first, then with their usual unnerving regularity. It was as if the room itself was the source, not the people in it. The quest for a logical, scientific explanation had hit a brick wall, a proper stumper. The mystery of room 304 at Northwood High remains unsolved. Despite all efforts, no one has a rational explanation for the weird happenings. The school administration would love to put this whole thing to bed, to reassure students and parents that everything is perfectly normal. But they can't. The room is still in use. Northwood is a busy school. Every classroom counts. Students still attend classes there. Teachers still teach. Life goes on. But there's always that underlying awareness, that knowledge that room 304 is different. Some students find it exciting. Others dread having classes there. They sit nervously, waiting for something to happen, or hoping nothing will. The unsolved nature of it all is perhaps the most unsettling part. If it were ghosts, you could try an exorcism, or if it were faulty wiring, you could fix it. But this is just unknown, an anomaly, a glitch in the everyday fabric of a normal high school. The human mind doesn't like unanswered questions, We crave explanations. We need things to make sense. Room 304 offers no such comfort. And so, the legend of Room 304 continues. A quiet, persistent mystery in the heart of Northwood High. It's a reminder that sometimes, even in the most ordinary places, things can happen that defy easy explanation. Perhaps one day, someone will stumble upon the truth. A forgotten blueprint, a geological survey, some perfectly logical reason. But until then, Room 304 will keep its secrets, and the students of Northwood High will keep wondering and whispering, wouldn't you?